Welcome to Mindfully Integrative Podcast with your host, Dr. Damaris G. Mindfully Integrative is a podcast discussing ways toward mindfully incorporating integrative health into our lives. This podcast will have informative resources, fun topics, interviews, and discussions relatable for today with a true mindful perspective in a mind-body, holistic life approach.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Damaris. How are you?
How's it going? This is the Mindfully Integrative Podcast. And today on our Mindful Chat, we have Terrence Shenfield. He is the owner of ATECAM, and it is an integrative health conference for nurses and healthcare professionals. And also he is many years respiratory therapist and many years in the medical field and a loving husband. And he can tell you many things about himself today. And I can't wait for you guys to enjoy some time with you. So thanks for coming on the show, Terrence.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Of course. So let's kind of go with like a little bit of a fun fact. So tell the audience and those watching, what do people not know about you? If they looked you up, they wouldn't have necessarily know.
Well, maybe they don't know I'm an avid skier, that I moved to the Pocono Mountains just to go skiing. So that's one of the things. Another thing is I bought myself a little John boat. I'm a little outdoorsy type. So I bought myself a little John boat and I take it on the Delaware River, and I go also to some local state parks, and I try to go fishing, but I strike out all the time. I'm a terrible fisherman. Terrible fisherman, but I enjoy going out there, and it's like just getting out there and looking at the water and just the fresh air and the trees. I mean, that's all I really enjoy.
And it's relaxing, and you're out there in nature. Yeah, I definitely envy you on the being closer to the outdoor wood stuff. I think eventually I'm gonna have to do that myself, move more nature or near the lake. Yeah. So tell everyone a little bit about you. I mean, know how, kind of where you came from in this integrative health space or wellness space.
Okay.
I mean, we know each other because I was on I worked with you, but the audience doesn't know.
Well, originally, after college, I worked on Wall Street. So I'm from New York. Maybe you could pick up my Brooklyn accent, but I'm from New York. And after college, I started working directly in Wall Street. And I was on Wall Street for about 15 years, and the market crashed. And I got laid off after about 3 rounds of layoff. And regrettably, I got divorced at the same time. The whole floor fell underneath my feet. And I had to regroup, and I decided to go into the medical field based on my brother's telling me a little bit about everything. I wasn't sure to go into nursing or respiratory therapy, but I ended up going into respiratory therapy, and I went to University of Medicine Dentistry of Newark, New Jersey. And during my clinical rotation at UMDNJ, the major trauma center in Newark, they offered me a job even as a student.
Oh, wow.
So I almost had a job when I graduated. They liked what I did. And then shortly after that, I worked at the job as a respiratory therapist. I received every credential you could probably get. I was like driven to become an expert in my craft. And because I was a little bit older and because I had a little experience, I was advanced kind of quickly in the department. I became the education coordinator, which I maintained that position almost 22 out of my 25 years of being out there. Wow. And as an educator, I really enjoy teaching. I used to teach the residents. I used to teach the nurses. I used to teach the respiratory therapists. I'm a little bit evidence-based. And I always had a love of, what would you call it, integrative medicine. I always practiced that. When I was going through a divorce, when I left Wall Street, I had insomnia from stress.
I can only imagine.
I had a very good friend of mine who taught me about Ayurvedic medicine. And,
Ayurvedic. Wow. Ayurvedic medicine. That's pretty deep.
I ended up, learning about Ayurvedic medicine, and it really helped me with overcoming the stress that I was going through. And it just stuck with me. So as I was closing in on my retirement, I decided to get a master's in complementary and alternative medicine.
You just decided, well,
I just
think
decided because I love it. And it had nothing to
know.
do with the job. It
I
had a
know, we
lot
love
to
it. We
do
both love it.
just what I wanted to do, and I really believe in it. I believe in Western medicine. It
Yes.
has its value, but I also strongly believe in self-care.
Right.
And,
And
maintaining
that's why it's
good health.
integrative.
Oh, yeah, integrative medicine. It's just
That's-
like very natural. So at that time, I originally, because I was an education coordinator, I created a company called A&T Respiratory Lectures to offer continuous education for respiratory therapists. And I did that
Right.
almost like 12 years ago.
Okay.
And then after having that business for about 2 years and getting my goal to be get my master's in complementary and alternative medicine, I created another company, ATECAM. So this is a company which is www.atecam.com. And this company, I am also a nurse provider through the Pennsylvania State Nursing Association. And I've worked with Damaris for years. We've done many joint programs all across the world. We did it throughout New Jersey, Pennsylvania. We also have done
traveled and retreats.
We did retreats down beautiful beaches in Jamaica and Punta Cana. And we're going to continue doing that. But basically, most of the things I do at ATECAM, I try to bring a little bit of traditional medicine with a mixture of integrative medicine.
Yes.
So I give you both sides of the coin, and I love what I do.
I know.
That's a little bit what I do.
And you've helped so many people in the traditional and the integrative health space in what you've done. And I feel like you have isn't it like over 10,000 people, on your list?
Yeah, I know a lot of people. And very importantly is the people I meet, like you. I've met so many wonderful people who are so knowledgeable and so passionate about what they do in every form of integrative medicine. I've known people who are experts in aromatherapy, mindfulness, like yourself. I know people who are on herbal medicine.
Right. The medical marijuana space.
Medical marijuana. I've known many physicians who they actually write prescriptions for medical marijuana. So I've really got to meet so many people. And if they're sitting in lectures and listening to people speak, your knowledge base really grows. I'm just in a good place with people who are very knowledgeable and passionate about what they do.
I love that. I love the amount of people that you've met, and and we're hoping that down the road we'll talk later, but we'll hopefully have an event with all these different speakers.
I am due after this COVID pandemic. I am due for a beach.
We
white sand, nice water. Sitting under a nice coconut tree. So what do you think, Damaris? Is that sound good?
Definitely need a retreat. I don't know how far, maybe even maybe something simple in the beginning after this, but definitely something relaxing. I need something. Let me tell you, it's my 40th birthday this coming week. And I was supposed to be in Hawaii. It didn't happen.
Okay. Well, you got time.
I got time, but that's all right. So from all of us, I mean, you did kind of touch base on a little of your struggle from getting into this space. Who inspired you? Was it just that because of your struggle with your divorce?
I think my integrative medicine all stemmed from a divorce, like a traumatizing time in my life when I realized that my way of dealing with stress is through insomnia, which is
right. Sorry. Okay.
So, in other words, stress with me comes out in the form of insomnia.
Right.
And that struggle, and when I was at work and I was not sleeping, people were looking at me and saying, "What's wrong with you, Terry? You're not the same." And it's because, sleep is very, very important, and it just diminishes your cognitive ability. And after going to a doctor and then prescribing Ambien, and Ambien didn't work, and I felt like when I used Ambien and came to work, they thought I was on drugs because I looked glazed over.
Oh, no.
So that is when a very good friend of mine, Jay Patel, suggested I ever try Ayurvedic medicine. And that's when I was introduced to Ayurvedic medicine, and I met this wonderful physician, Dr. Scott Gearson, he had an office in Greenwich Village, New York City, and I had my first appointment. He was both an MD, a medical doctor, as well as an Ayurvedic physician, and he spent about 2.5 hours with me just trying to uncover what's going on in my life. I've never had anyone sit down with me, discuss what was going on with me. He wanted to know what I'm eating, what I'm drinking, what kind of exercise I'm doing, what's my sleep patterns. He looked at everything, and he looked at me holistically and came up with a plan, and it was phenomenal. It really worked. It stuck with me even up to this day. And this is many, many years ago. But that was the trigger for me to go down the path of self-care. And it can be very simple little things, what you eat, what you think.
The fact that you're out in nature, you have a motorcycle, I know that, and you go out and you're going to go stroll on that out in the sun.
I know how to sort of tune into nature.
And I think that's really great coming from you, because I've known you for a number of years now. And we are similar in the sense we both kind of are active, kind of more energetic people. And the fact that you're able to tune in and reset yourself, I think that says a lot of your character. And you're also a wonderful person, and you're happily married to your wonderful wife, Anna. And I just feel like you guys really are enjoying life, and you're using integrative health or the medicine, like your self-care, to be better, And I noticed that you've just done, you've done a lot of things, and now you're even taking it to the point where both of your companies are educating people in traditional and integrative space. And I think there's so much that you're doing for individuals, and you just finished a webinar yesterday that was on COVID, right?
Yep, we did a 5-hour webinar on COVID. Mm-hmm. My particular topic was vaccination, herd immunity, and treatment options.
Wow. And then you also were and then just even this morning we were talking, you had said you had done a lecture on diabetes, but you also put an integrative health component.
I was invited by the Diabetes Association to do a webinar this morning that talked about the use of medical marijuana and diabetes. And I was... I know about medical marijuana, but I've never really tied in the diabetes portion. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. It's like my brother is a diabetic.
Right.
And my brother has neuropathy. My brother is an amputee. And my brother is a kidney transplant. And I was just shocked at the benefits of cannabis with diabetes.
Would you like to share just one moment, like one element of that? Like, you don't have to go into it.
Yeah. I mean, we all... Well, put it this way, one of the risk factors for diabetes is obesity.
Right.
And this country is an obese, we're getting worse.
Yep. Diabetes. Right. Yep. They call
it diabetes. And
they
did some longitudinal studies where they actually looked at over 18,000 people. And they also did other studies where they looked at people who use cannabis on a regular basis. And you would think, and the funny part about cannabis use, it does stimulate your appetite. So they are consuming more calories. But as a result of consuming more calories, their glucose metabolism is improved by the endocannabinoid system, and they have a weight loss. In other words, they typically have lower fasting insulin, lower fasting blood sugars, and actually smaller circumference of waist size. So they think that even though you consume more calories, it's how you metabolize those calories is different because of the activation of the endocannabinoid system and the CB1, CB2 receptors.
Can you imagine, even on top of that, if you took that to a step further and actually taught someone about their nutrition? So they may be eating more, but then you tell them about their nutrition and a nutritional what you should eat. And then you tell them even a step further, exercise, like you put movement, life, you put those two other steps in there. And I think we are going to talk about that at some point where we were talking about where
I thought it was
together a webinar on this topic.
I think it's so timely, the fact of diabetes in America, obesity in America, 100%. And things. I mean, if anything hits home, it's a talk about this, and I'd love to work with you on this.
Yeah, no. And I mean, like sugar in itself is a drug and we never talk about that enough. Like, and that's it's because it tastes good, it's just as bad, they say, as cocaine in the brain. And it triggers that similar, like energetic, and like if you look into the brain patterns, it's very similar to the addiction, and it's because it's good, cakes are good and sugars are, and you get addicted to it, and it does, and you have a withdrawal just like any other drug. And I think that, cannabis is one aspect that where it helps decrease that, and diet.
Well,
and
we don't want people to walk around like stoned. You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
But they're doing a lot of research. They're doing a lot of research
Right.
of the blockade of the CB1 receptor. And, big pharmaceutical companies want to get in on this.
Yeah, it's not about being taking drugs. Like you and I are evidence-based people. We're trying to be advocates for healthier.
It surprised a lot of people at this webinar. They had so many questions, they had to cut them off because they would hit me up with so many questions. At the end, there was like 10 minutes of Q&A, and they were just like, I couldn't get to them all. So
oh my gosh. See, that means there's a need.
I think I made a good impression on them.
That's excellent. Oh my God. I can't wait to have you on and talk more about this and us do our webinar. Is there things that are coming up in the next couple months that you want to share with us?
Yeah, I'm actually, typically I do live webinars on my website with my www.atecam.com. A little plug.
And no little plug. I'm going to put all your information in the show notes so everybody.
And we have, I typically once every 3 weeks do a live webinar, and I cover a host of topics. I'm actually doing something on, like I said, sometimes I do integrative medicine, sometimes I do
traditional acute care.
And I'm doing actually something come up in about 3 weeks on neonatal pediatric care.
Oh, you are? That was my area.
NICU. We're talking about like how to manage a patient in the NICU. And it's more critical care medicine.
Oh, I love it.
And I have an excellent neonatologist joining me from California.
Whoa, that's wonderful.
A good friend of mine, Dr. Elmer David, is going to be speaking. He's a chief neonatologist in San Francisco, and he's going to be joining me and myself and my partner, and we're going to be doing a little lecture on that. And we have a bunch of things we do,
Yeah,
so.
no, I can't wait for people to meet you and sign up and, and get more about, and then maybe down the road, we'll probably be doing another conference and a retreat. So I think that'll be fun. Is there a little tidbit or mindful way that you kind of want to tell the audience that you do on a daily to get yourself kind of reset? Or it's something that you recommend?
I always find time to be alone. Sometimes I just, I go into my, where you have a little mindfulness, where you practice it can be anywhere. Yeah. But I typically will just sit back, take some deep breaths, clear my mind, and it recharges me.
Yeah.
So, I enjoy that. I sort of, sometimes, I'm very busy at times.
Yeah.
And I'm on my computer and I'm researching this and that. And then sometimes I just want to relax. And I found I can do that very well.
It's important though, because like right after this, you got to go reset and recharge. I think we get guilty for doing that, and we don't always give ourselves that time. And you're saying it's okay sometimes.
Oh, it's very important how to do that. And I've developed, and I pray every day. That's another form of mindfulness. You say some prayers and be thankful for all the good things that come your way and the people in your life, I'm thankful for that, and that's my way of giving back.
I know you have a lot of things that you give back to and people. So I'm so glad that you were able to spend some time with the audience and be on our show today. Thanks for coming on. And I can't wait for others to know and learn more about you.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Of course, anytime. So thanks, audience, and joining the Mindfully Integrative podcast. And look forward to seeing you guys again. And hope that each and every day you find a mindful way. Have a good day and namaste.
Thank you for listening to the Mindfully Integrative Show with Dr. Damaris Maria Grossman, family nurse practitioner. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not the substitute for professional medical advice, diagnose, or treat. Always consult your healthcare provider before making changes to your healthcare routine. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. If you enjoyed our show, please support us by leaving a mindful review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite streaming platform. Interested in being a guest or more information? Email us at info@mindfullyintegrative.com. For resources mentioned in the show, visit our website at www.mindfullyintegrative.com. You can also connect mindfully with Dr. Damaris on her social media links found on the site. May your strength and peace guide you to find a mindful way every day. Namaste.